Okay, so the first service that we'll talk about in this particular course is not going to be compute or storage or database, but it's going to be VNet. And I feel that if you want to understand any cloud platform properly, you should understand how the private network for that particular cloud works. So in Azure, the Azure Virtual Net or the VNet is the fundamental building block for creating your private network in Azure. Now you can create your Azure private network using the following RFC 1918 IP range that is mentioned in this particular screen. Now, your Azure VNet can also be divided into subnets. So what does subnet do? So subnet enables you to segment the virtual network into one or more subnetworks and allocate a portion of the virtual network's IP address to each of the subnet. So now let's look at this diagrammatically and let's see why VNet is so important for you to understand. So a VNet here is basically a private IP range. In this particular example, the IP range that I have given is 10.0.0/16. Now this is an RFC 1918 private IP range. Now this network also consists of three subnets, and these subnets have a range of /24. So that is equivalent to around 255 IP addresses for each subnet. Now of course some of the IP addresses are used by Azure itself, so you can round it about to around 250 usable IP addresses for each subnet. Now what are the services that you can put in these subnets? So the services include the following. You can have for compute virtual machines like Linux or Windows. You can have virtual machine scale sets, Azure Batch, Cloud Service, etc. Now, these are very important services, especially the first one, that is the virtual machine Linux or Windows. So, your backbone of any application would always be a virtual machine, and your virtual machines would reside within the VNet. So, that is one important concept you have to understand. Now, apart from that, the next most important ones are basically the Azure Kubernetes service and the container service, which also are fundamentally used for creating applications. You also have data like Redis cache and Azure SQL managed instances. Now, these are also important for creating applications. So just remember how important VNet is. So most of the services that are actually important for you to create your applications resides within the VNet. So it's important for you to understand the concept of VNet initially itself. Now, apart from that, you can also peer your VNets. So here in this particular diagram, you can see that two virtual networks appeared. And the advantage of this is that you can actually communicate between virtual machines in both these networks using just the private IP addresses. So you do not have to go through the internet to communicate with each other if you have peered networks. So that's one important concept you should remember. And finally, if your application within your virtual machine also wants to use other services like storage account, your event hub, your service account, it can do that via the service endpoint as well. So this enhances the functionality of your application within your virtual machine or your container. And apart from that, you can also have a site-to-point communication where if you have a workstation which you want to connect to your VNet, you can do that via the site-to-point. Or if you have an on-premise network which you want to connect to your VNet, you can do that via the point-to-point communication. Now, these are some of the basic functionalities of VNet. Now, I will explain these in details while I'm explaining to you all these services. So one important takeaway from this particular lesson is that VNet is very important and it forms the bedrock of all the application that you would be creating in Azure. So I hope this was a useful lecture. I will see you in the next where we'll create a VNet. So I'll see you there. Okay, so I'm in my Azure portal. So what we'll do is we'll create a VNet. So to do that, you can just type VNet here and you can open your virtual networks. You can also go to your all services and you will find VNet under networking. So you can just click on networking and you'll find virtual networks here as well. So let's open our virtual network. And here you can see that I already have a VNet present. So let's create a new one. So you can click on create and you can either use an existing resource group or create a new one. So let's create a new resource group. I'll call this dev VNet. Click on OK. And here you need to specify a region. So a VNet is a regional construct. So it has to be within a particular region. So let me just make it in East US. So I'll click on East US and click on review and create. And you need to give a name for your VNet as well. So I'll just call this as VNet, dev VNet. Click on review and create. And by default, you can see that it creates a VNet with this particular address and it just creates one default subnet. So what we need is we'll create a few more subnets once this particular virtual network is created. So meanwhile, everything seems okay. So let's just create this particular VNet. So as I said previously, this VNet would have this particular address space that is 10.0.0.0/16 and it will have one particular subnet within it. and that will be the default subnet, and it will have this particular address. So let's create this VNet, and once we've created this VNet, we'll add a few more subnets within this particular virtual network. And again, the name of my virtual network would be just dev VNet, and it will be created in this particular new resource group that I've created called dev VNet as well. So let's create this particular virtual network. Been created. So a resource has been created. So you can just go to our resource. So you can click on this particular button, and you can see that this particular virtual network has been created. It has this address space, and let's check out the subnets. So currently there's just one subnet by the name of default, and it has this address space. So let's create a new one. And it has so many IP addresses available within it. So let's create a new subnet. So let's click on subnet again. So I'll just call this as subnet 1, and it'll have this particular address space. So that's about it. Let's click on save. And let's create one more subnet. Click on subnet again, and you can see that the address space changes from 1 to 2. So I'll just call this as subnet 2. Click on save. And you can see that I've created 3 subnets. And that's it for this particular chapter. So now you know how you can create your virtual network and you can create subnets within. So in our upcoming chapters, we'll be using these subnets. So in the next chapter, we'll be using these subnets to create virtual machines within them. So that's it for this particular chapter. Now, one more thing, there are other settings within these virtual networks as well. Now, these other settings we'll explain as we proceed further towards in this course. So that's it for this chapter. I will see you in the next.